determine the fate of your Lakers this year.
We appreciate your knowledge about history, but that's relatively irrelevant
Why don't you
at
speak
this
for
particular
yourself?
juncture.
Ole Miss rushes forward. Strong settles, fires, and another wide open target.
Fuck all these hoes, I'm style my face. I can't fuck with you, too busy getting paid. All of my niggas keep it on the waist. Don't step in my section, that shit it ain't safe. I'm on my shit, that's the reason they hate. Straight to the top.
Yo, it's your boy Chris Singleton, aka Mr. Right the Level Boy, man. And y'all back, man. Y'all boy tuned in to country sports, man. The only country sports that's right, y'all, man, for us country niggas, man. Our platform, you feel me? Man, we got a show in store for y'all today, man. If y'all watched Monday, y'all would have heard that I told y'all we had a couple topics that we were going to talk on about today, man. And the first one that I want to get to, man, is the top 6 duels in the NBA right now. The top 6 duels in the NBA right now. And after this list, I ain't know how y'all gonna feel. I ain't know. So, tell you right now, comment, let me know how you feel about this list, because this list is absolutely my personal list. And when I say best 6 duels, I mean best 6 duels, not best teams. The top 6 duels in the league. And I gonna start off with number 6. And I got Russ and Harden, man. Russ and Harden. I mean, I don't know how it's gonna work. I really fucking don't. I don't know how they gonna play together. I mean, from what you hear, from the reports and everything, it sounds like these two motherfuckers gonna be like a match made in heaven. Like they gonna be like the old Harden and Russ, but they had Kevin Durant too, nigga, and they don't have a Kevin Durant. They don't have a Kevin Durant on this roster. They got a nice roster, but they don't have a Kevin Durant. And so, is James Harden gonna allow Russell Westbrook to control the ball? Because James Harden game is what James Harden game is. James Harden is not one of those guys who can run off ball screens, you know, who can pull stop. He's not one of those guys. I mean, he's gonna give you ISO. I mean, he is what he is. He is what he is, and that's the kind of guy James Harden is. Russell Westbrook is a different kind of person. And one thing I love about Russell Westbrook is a team player. Whatever needs to be done is what he's going to do. If he has to take a back seat again this year right here and give everything to James Harden, allow James Harden to run the offense, and he becomes a 2-guard again, like he was in college. He was a 2-guard. He goes to a 2-guard. Now he goes from a 1 to a 2-guard. Allow James Harden to stay at the 1 and run the offense. Once James Harden goes off to the bench, then Westbrook will be the point guard. If that's how they're going to do, because they still have Austin Rivers on the bench. So, duos, I'm going to go with number 6. I'm going to go with Russell Westbrook and James Harden. Why? Because everybody else on this list has shown me that there's a reason why they're on top of this list. So Harden, Russ, I got them at 6. 5, I got Dame Dollar and CJ McCollum, man. And when I saw a lot of people do their duo list, they left these two niggas off, bruh. And like, did y'all forget that these two made it to the Western Conference Finals this year with Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum? Who the fuck else was on their roster? I mean, y'all might know people because y'all play 2K and shit, but bruh, they didn't have no other lethal fucking scorer the entire playoffs. I mean, you can go with Rodney Hood, but I won't say he wasn't inconsistent, but it was a lot of games that he didn't show up that you expected him to show up. He wasn't there. So don't put Rodney Hood in the conversation. Enes Kanter, he did some. He defended a lot better than I thought he would defend. He scored a lot more than I thought he would have scored. But it wasn't a series or a game in those series where he just like legitimately took over. So I just think the way Damian Lillard scores the ball, he scores the ball so fucking easy, you know? And CJ is like really becoming one of the best players in the league right now. I arguably could say that he's top 15, top 20 player in the league, easy. And I think if you put CJ on another team, he's their number one player. From when he first came to the league, he got injured. In his second year, he came and made it to the playoffs. Like, CJ's been looking, he's gotten a whole lot better every single year. He's added a different element to his game every single year. He's shooting the three better. He's coming up now, he's shooting the mid-range. He's attacking the basket. He's posting up. He facilitates the ball better now than he did earlier in his career. And y'all know Damian Lillard. Y'all see Steph Curry. Y'all see Damian Lillard do. I won't say they're the same kind of type of player, but Damian Lillard is probably one of the most clutch players in the league right now. If you don't believe me, ask Paul George. Ask James Harden. Ask Steph Curry. Like, he puts on big games when he plays against these big name players. And Damian Lillard is one of those guys, like, he wants to get a ring for Portland. This year might be his year. I don't know. We'll see. So, I fuck with Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum at number 5. So, if you got Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum at 5, Russell Westbrook and Paul George at 6, you got a couple more people out there now, for real. So, at 4, Splash Brothers, man. The Splash Brothers, I don't give a fuck how many duels we have in the league. Bro, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson is going to be one of the best regardless. I don't think, with so much, the reason why Golden State is so good is because they have so much different movement and constant movement of the ball. And when you got two guys in Klay and Steph who work off the ball as good as they do, like, it's no reason to believe that somebody else is better than them. Because a lot of people have this. I mean, they've been championship after championship after championship. They've been to the finals. They've proven to you why. I mean, I understand they had Kevin Durant in a couple of those, but before Kevin Durant got there, Klay and Steph Curry was still the best duo in the league. Still, it doesn't matter. You had LeBron and Kyrie. It doesn't matter. Steph and Klay was still the best duo in the league. I mean, you can't argue that they weren't. They went 73-9 with just them two and Draymond, bro. Like, they've shown you why they're the best duo in the league, and I think regardless with everybody we have now, they're still a top duo in the league. I mean, Curry's a 2-time MVP, 1-time unanimous, bro. And people sleep on Curry at the same time. Like, Curry is not in the conversation as a top 5 player in this league. I mean, he may not be one of the best defensive players in the league, but I mean, bruh, like, nobody puts up buckets as good as Curry do anymore, bruh. When Curry do, this shit is automatic. Like, I don't even play motherfuckers who play with Golden State on 2K no more, bruh. Motherfucker walk across the half-court line and shooting threes, bruh. Listen, this shit crazy, man. Like, bruh, I don't understand, like, why people sleeping on Curry and Klay. Like, I'm always gonna put numbers up regardless. I don't care how you feel. Number 3. This sort of list get different and this sort of list get tricky. And hold y'all fucking horses. Cause I understand a lot of motherfuckers gonna get mad. But at number 3, I got LeBron and AD, bro. Like, seriously, my number 3 team is LeBron and Anthony Davis. LeBron has to show me this year that he's still the best player in the league. He has to show me that he's still the best player in the fucking league. Because from what I've seen from LeBron last year, regardless of him having Anthony Davis or not, they're not a deep contending team. I mean, I understand who Anthony Davis is. I do. I watch basketball. But what's LeBron's position now? Small forward. Is LeBron staying up with a lot of these other small forwards? Or LeBron going to guard a lot of these other small forwards in the league? So the only thing I'm seeing him doing is either switching to power forward or doing what they've been saying around the league already this year, is that he's going to the point guard, which I hope he doesn't go to the point guard because he's very exposed. He goes to the point guard. He's not going to be able to guard a lot of those point guard, but at the same time, a lot of those point guards won't be able to guard him. And that's when situations get tricky, but LeBron's not a consistent free throw shooter. He's not a consistent three-point shooter. He's not a consistent mid-range shooter. He's consistent at passing the ball. He's very consistent at attacking the basket. As good as LeBron James is, this far in his career is not a lot of things that he's good at what he's good at, and he's amazing at it. But the stuff that he isn't as good in, he's not that good in. Like, you can't tell me that LeBron James is a consistent free throw shooter. You can't tell me that he is a consistent mid-range shooter. You cannot tell me that he's a consistent three-point shooter. He's not none of those. I mean, he'll hit some three-pointers. He'll hit some shots from the mid-range. But when the game is on the line and you need that shot, you hope that he hits it because he's LeBron James. You don't trust that he's going to hit it. When Curry gets behind the three-point line, you believe he's going to hit it. If he misses, you're like, what the fuck? It's the same thing in the finals. When he missed that shot at the end of the game, you were fucking shocked. I was shocked that he missed the shot because Curry hit so much different kind of threes that you expected him to hit that shot. Regardless of how he had the ball in his hand, you expected him to hit that shot. LeBron James, a couple years ago when they played Toronto in that series, when he hit the shot on the side floating, you expected him to hit those shit because he's LeBron fucking James. I don't expect him to do that shit no more. I don't. Father Time has not lost yet. Only against Tom Brady. Tom Brady gonna be in for a minute, man. I don't give a fuck how you feel. Brady gonna be in for a minute. We'll talk about that later. But anyway, yeah. LeBron is amazing, man. Don't get me wrong. LeBron is a top player of all fucking time. Anthony Davis is an amazing player. And I just think, regardless, if Anthony Davis had anybody else, I'd put them further up, or they're still on this list. But with him having LeBron and the question marks I have with LeBron, with him having that growing injury last year, missing all the time that he missed, the Lakers missing the playoffs, I just got to see what LeBron does. I mean, I understand LeBron is LeBron. You got to know what LeBron is going to do. Expect what LeBron is going to do because LeBron has showed you every single year why he's the best player in the league, and I understand that shit. But it's the first time last year, the first time he missed as much games as he did, and he missed the playoffs. Can you come back in the league with the way it is right now and come back to being a dog? If you can do that, then my answer is different. My answer is completely different. But until he can come up there and show me that they're the better team, they're the better duo, those two, I got to keep them at number 3. I mean, they're good enough to be better than Klay. Listen, you understand how much I said about Klay and Curry just now? And for me to have them at 5. And for one to have them under, I had them at 4. And for me to have them under LeBron and AD after what I said about them just now, you understand how much confidence I have in LeBron. I think LeBron and Anthony Davis could be a good duo, but I just don't know what I need to expect from LeBron. And the same thing with Anthony Davis. Is Anthony gonna be healthy all year? Is he? He hasn't been healthy consistently since he's been in the fucking league, man. I mean, we know that he could take over games. We know that. I understand that he can, but he a big man. He ain't clutch. He ain't showing me yet that he clutch. I mean, he probably not. He done hit some shots. I'll give him that. He done hit some shots. He done hit some big time shots. He done hit some game winning shots, but he hasn't shown me in a playoff moment that he's clutch. Why? Because he hasn't been in the playoffs. I mean, they swept Portland one year. Every other year, he hasn't made it out of the first round of the playoffs. And hasn't put up big numbers. But now, he has somebody who he can play off with, who he can feed with. So, I'm hoping that they can work it out. And the bad part about it, I just don't see it, man. Like, I promise you, when I did my list, I took my time. Was like, bro, like, people not gonna fuck with LeBron and Anthony Davis at number 3. Like, when I do this shit, I gotta have the right shit. But like, I have nothing. Nothing tells me that Anthony Davis and LeBron James are gonna be the best duo in the league, other than individually it being LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Just that alone does not tell me that they're gonna be the best tandem. You feel me? I don't see it, because I just feel like the two duels ahead of them are gonna be better. I just feel that way. And so we're gonna go to number 2. And KD and Kyrie. Bro, fuck what Kyrie did when he was with Boston, alright? I don't care about that shit. Boston fans, like, fuck with y'all, boo, but listen. Y'all gotta think about it. Kyrie didn't want to go to Boston in the first place. That's one thing. 2, bro, like, when you got a bunch of young niggas, bro, then you get that old head that coming of this, bro, I think he know everything. You know, and you prove to that nigga, like, yeah, and we can do this shit on our own, nigga, fuck wrong with you. And then that old head come back and he's still talking that shit, man. Shit gonna clash, man. You feel me? And I just think that would happen in Boston. I just think Kyrie going on one of them Chris Paul type of careers, like when he know like he that nigga. You feel me? And he wants y'all to know that, you know, he that nigga. You feel me? And I don't think that mash well with like niggas like Rozier, Jaylen Brown, who, like, if you watch these niggas play, like, you see the type of attitude they have, and it's just not gonna work. But when you got 2 niggas in KD and Kyrie who got a love-hate relationship for the media, like those 2 do, and you put them niggas on one team, when I think one of the best things from last year was the first round of the playoffs. And a reporter asked Kevin Durant about the series. They were, if I'm not mistaken, it was tied. I think it was still tied 2-2. If I'm not mistaken. Series was tied 2-2. And it was like, no. Yeah, it was 2-2. It was 2-2. And it was like, it was either 2-2 or 2-1, one of the two, whatever it was. I know we was going back, they was coming back to the Clippers. Yeah, it was 2-1. They were up 2-1. Yep, got it. They were up 2-1, and they was talking to him like, bro, like, nigga, I'm Kevin Durant. Like, bro, like, people don't understand. Kevin Durant is the best. Kevin Durant is the best basketball player in the NBA at this moment. All right? Fuck everybody else. I don't want to hear a conversation about nobody else. Don't come at me trying to explain to me nothing about nobody else, bro. Kevin Durant is the best basketball player in the NBA. He's 7 foot tall. He shoots the three in the mid-range like he's laying them bitch up. He attacks the basket. He's starting to use his body like he needs to. I think the best thing that happened to Kevin Durant was him going to Golden State. He went to Golden State. He started attacking the basket more. He started facilitating the ball a whole lot more. And he became a better defender. And now that he have all of those stuff under his belt now, Kevin Durant is an all-around basketball player. You feel me? He can guard 2 through 5. He can guard the 2 through 5. You feel me? He can play the 2 through 5 if you need him to. I mean, they always had Draymond, so they didn't have to do it, but he's 7 feet fucking tall. If he needs to, he can do it, bruh. Listen, and last time Kyrie won a championship, he had the best basketball player in the fucking world playing alongside him. And that's LeBron James. So you tell me, what you think Kyrie gonna do when he got somebody like Kevin Durant? Bruh, the things that LeBron did when he was with Cleveland and with Kyrie, and the shit that Kevin Durant did with Russ and with Clay and with Curry. Bruh, you mash that shit together with Kyrie and KD, bro, they're going to be so fucking unstoppable. And if Brooklyn can keep their roster after this year and help and keep KD and keep that roster with Dinwiddie, Cassius LeVert, Joe Harris, they can keep some of that roster intact. If not, keep that roster intact. Whatever they lose, they can bring somebody in that can match whatever they lost. Man, listen, I think Brooklyn could be the best team in the league next year. Facts. Just because of the team that they have this year. If Kevin Durant played this year, Brooklyn's going to the finals. Right? Do they win it? I don't know, but with the roster Brooklyn have this year coming up, and Kevin Durant is healthy for the entire season, bro, once the playoffs comes, nobody beating them, man. Because if you saw the way that Brooklyn played with D'Angelo Russell last year, bro, like, hey, Brooklyn gonna be nasty, man. So if they can keep that same team intact, I think they'd be great. But duo-wise, I just think that Kevin Durant and Kyrie is gonna be so fucking good together, man. Like, I just think that shit's gonna be crazy because they're scorers, man. Like, they score the balls like with so much ease. And I think when Kyrie wants to, I think Kyrie is a top 4, top 5 point guard in this league. And I mean, his status may have went down because of him going to Boston the first year he getting hurt. In the second year, what happened in the playoffs, but we all seen Kyrie ball, man. We all seen that nigga ball. And the shit that he do is different, man. Like, that shit's so fucking different. So you can't put too much on him just because of what happened last year. I think when Kevin Durant comes back, I think Kevin Durant and Kyrie will be the second best duo in the league because of their scoring ability. They can do so much more. Clay and Curry, they can score, But Kevin Durant and Kyrie will be able to do so much more. Because if you watch Clay play, he's not a ball handler. He gets a lot of his shots of driving with one hand, off ball screens, and once he drives, he either drives to the basket or he'll drive in the mid-range to get his spot. That's just what he does. But if you pay attention to the ball, or if you pay attention to him play, you see that he doesn't have a crossover. Like, he has none of that shit. Kyrie, KD, KD got it, but boo, Kyrie gifted with that shit, you feel me? I wouldn't guard that motherfucker in the game system. I'm telling you, I'm double teaming that bitch on 2K. Fuck that shit. What? Man, listen, I just think, like I say, the way they just able to score in so much different levels and so much different ways, both of them, I just think that Kevin Durant and Kyrie, second best duo in the league. Second best. And y'all know who the number one is, right? Kawhi and Paul George. Kawhi and Paul George is the best duo in the NBA. Why? I have a lot of reasons. We look at the rest of these teams. We look at the rest of these duos on this list. Any one of them been Defensive Player of the Year. Besides Kevin Durant, any one of them been Finals MVP. Besides Kevin Durant, any one of these teams been able to put LeBron James, and Kyrie and Clay, any of these teams been able to take LeBron James to a Game 7? Stop LeBron from winning a championship? These all shit is Kawhi has done. And if you look what Paul George has done when he was with Indiana, like, Indiana and Cleveland Miami had battles. Like, they had legitimate battles. You feel me? Paul George, like, it was twice that Paul George went up against LeBron James in the playoffs, and he was like, hey, LeBron not getting out this one. You feel me? LeBron is not getting out this one. Paul George and Kawhi is probably the number one and the number two best defenders in the league. I matched those two up against everybody else on this list. 2-on-2. I'm picking those two against anybody on this list. Anybody. I don't give a fuck who it is. You can switch them bitch out. Curry and AD. Clay and KD. Damian Lillard and Kyrie. Bro, I don't give a fuck how you do it, bro. The more you switch it, the more it's still a mismatch. You feel me? Your better chance of beating them is your team beating their team. And that's not even going to work, bro. I just think that the way Paul George plays, for one, Paul George is a lethal scorer. He's deadly from the three. When he's healthy, I think if Paul George didn't mess up his shoulder last year, I think Paul George probably would have won MVP. If not won MVP, he probably would have been second in voting. Votings would have been closer. I think his play went down after the injury. He didn't play as much. He didn't play as much time, and a lot of shots didn't drop like it was dropping before. He started to pick it up a little bit more towards the end of the season, but OKC was the top 3 team in the West at the All-Star break before he got hurt. After that, they went all the way down to the fucking 7th seed. There's a difference in his play. Y'all saw the way Russell Westbrook played last year, so you see it was all a difference in his play, not nobody else's. I just think, man, that Paul George and Kawhi gonna play very, very fucking good together because both of them can piggyback off what the other does. Both of them can defend. Both of them can hit the mid-range consistently. Both of them can hit the 3 consistently. Both of them have a mid-range game. Post-up game. Both of them can attack the basket. Both of them can facilitate. Bro, it's not a lot of shit that Kawhi and Paul George can't do, and the bad part about it, they both can do it good and to a fucking T. That's the bad part. I don't see nobody beating Kawhi and Paul George when they own their shit. When they own their shit, Kawhi is a top 3, top 4, top 5 player in the league, and Paul George is a top 10. You can't take. You give me your top 10 and Paul George not in it, I'll slap the shit out you. Cause for some reason you did that shit so fucking wrong. I'm telling you, because there's no way possible that Paul George should not be in your top 10, and there's no way possible that Kawhi should not be in your top 5, top 6. From what Kawhi showed you in the playoffs this year, that you should understand, you should see that he's lethal, man. And when it's time to, like, he's dangerous. And I watched First Take with I think it's First Take with Skip Bayless and Shannon. And Shannon was like, he don't understand how Kawhi can be great without a regular season MVP. What the fuck does that matter? Kevin Durant only has 1. He has 1. And you still considering him as one of the best. Kawhi has 2 finals MVPs for 2 different teams. And the first time, he wasn't even the best player on the fucking team. And he was able to win finals MVP. Why? Because he wasn't able to shut him down. He was able to stop LeBron James from doing the shit that LeBron James does. You watch what Kawhi did against Giannis. Bro, in the Eastern Conference Finals, like, Giannis was starting to kill Toronto. There was nothing they could do. All right, Nick Nurse. Hey, Kawhi. Fuck everybody else. I want you to guard Giannis. You guard Giannis, and once he start to hit half court, we gonna close it in. You kick off on him, you play him. And let's see what happened. After that, Milwaukee never won another motherfucking game. Didn't win another fucking game after that. And as good as a coach that Nick Nurse is, and I'll give him all his credit, it's Kawhi. Bro, Kawhi is one of the best defenders in the league, and he can guard 1 through 4. Paul George can guard 1 through 4. And when you talk about these guys who wants to be there, who wants to be with the Clippers, I don't see another team beating them. I don't. I really, really, really fucking don't. So that's my best duels, man. We got number 6. We got Russell Westbrook. We got James Harden. Number 5, we got Dame Dollar and CJ McCollum. Number 4, we got Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. Number 3, LeBron James, Anthony Davis. Number 2, Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. And then number 1, Kawhi and Paul George, man. I think it's gonna be a crazy year. And since we're still talking about basketball, man, and we talk about the best duels, we're gonna go in the Western Conference and we're gonna go in the Eastern Conference, and I'm gonna give y'all my best teams. Now, there's a lot of teams in the West, there's a lot of teams in the East, and everything is all out in the open this year, man. But I got my 4 best, my top 4 seeds in each conference. We're going to start with the East. And in the East, I think number 4, with the roster that they have this year, without Kevin Durant, I still believe that the Brooklyn Nets can be the number 4 seed in the Eastern Conference. Because the Eastern Conference is so wide the fuck open, I believe that with Cassius LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie, Joe Harris, Allen, Carroll, they got Garrett Temple. I think Brooklyn with Kyrie, I think Brooklyn still have enough to make it as a number 4 seed. Like I just said, I believe that without Kyrie last year and them having D'Angelo Russell, I believe that the Brooklyn Nets should have beaten the 76ers in the first round last year. I think that should have happened. I don't know what happened, but I just really think that the Brooklyn Nets had the opportunity. They had it in their hands to beat the 76ers last year, and they just couldn't pull it through. I don't know why. I don't know how they couldn't do it, but they should have won that series. I just believe that with the way how Embiid was injured and shit like that, I think they should have won that series. Number 3, they ain't going nowhere. The Boston fucking Celtics, man. Kemba is one of the most slept on point guards in the league. Kemba scores the ball so easily. And if you watch how the Boston Celtics played when Kyrie and Gordon Hayward went down, like, it's a lot of questions about the way that Brad Stevens coaches now, because they couldn't get it done in the playoffs when he had all of these talents around him. If you give Brad Stevens the players that he wants, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, you add Kemba Walker, you still have Gordon Hayward, you get Enes Kanter, like, you got a solid group, especially in the Eastern Conference that doesn't have too much strong teams. I still give it to Boston because I believe that Kemba Walker is still going to be a 22-point-a-game player. I believe that Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown is now in their time to take that next step. I think Jason Tatum goes to a 20-point game, 20 points a game player. I think Jaylen Brown comes up and becomes an 18 points a game player. I just think these guys are going to elevate their level because now they don't have to worry about the Kyrie noise. And then I think Gordon Hayward is going to come back in his regular form. Like, Gordon Hayward was like one of the best players in the league before he got hurt. He was one of the best fucking players in the league. You can't sleep on that shit. I think he's had a whole year under his belt, including the playoffs, to get his shit right. And he's starting to get everything right once the playoffs started. But I mean, now he has a whole offseason to get ready and all that shit. So I think the Boston Celtics, number 3 best team. I think they're going to be very, very, very slept on. But I think they can make it to the 3rd seed, get them a little home court advantage throughout the first 2 rounds probably, just to see how they ass can fuck with it. And number 2, a team who I personally felt should have won it all last year, and that's the Milwaukee Bucks, man. There's nobody in that conference now that can guard Giannis. There's nobody in that conference now that can guard Giannis. Kawhi gone. So once the playoffs start, who the fuck is going to guard Giannis? That shit that Toronto did last year, it's not going to work because you don't have a Kawhi on your team. You don't have a Kawhi on your team, so why you think that shit going to work? You feel me? Hey, Giannis was able to get them to re-sign Chris Middleton. And if y'all don't know who Chris Middleton is one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. He's lethal with the shit. I'm not going to say he's the most consistent, but he's a very lethal shooter. I mean, Milwaukee's going to have to find some more pieces to add to that team before the trade deadline. But for right now, just having Giannis and Chris Middleton inside that conference, I think they're number 2 team in that conference because they got last year's MVP and Chris Middleton. I think Eric Bledsoe is going to still be good. Eric Bledsoe is still going to be a good player. I think Brook Lopez is going to put up similar type of numbers. I think with what the fuck his name is? I forgot the bitch name, but with that nigga that got on the bench. I had that shit written down. I forgot him. Fuck that nigga. Well, the dude that they had on their bench, light skinned nigga, like, that's somebody they're gonna miss on their team. I can't remember that bitch name for shit now, but fuck it. Fuck, I can't remember the bitch name, but fuck it. Yeah, I think he's a key to their offense. The dude went, look the bitch up, nigga. He went to fucking Indiana. He's playing Malcolm Brogdon. That's that bitch ass nigga name. He went to Indiana. And so I think that's gonna be a big hole, a big gap that they're gonna need to fill. I mean, they re-signed George Hill, and George Hill is not a bad player, bro, but he's not Malcolm Brogdon. I mean, Brogdon was a 40% 3-point shooter, 90%. I mean, bro, like, he did a lot for that team. I just think that's something that, you know, won't be easy to replace. Even though he got hurt towards the end of the year last year, he was one of the reasons why they were the number one team in the fucking Eastern Conference. It wasn't all Giannis and it wasn't all Chris Middleton. Malcolm Brogdon was a very important piece to that team. And of course, number one, I don't see how anybody else put it on top of them. And that's the 76ers. You just look at their starting lineup, you can tell me what starting lineup in the Eastern Conference is better. Ben Simmons just got his max contract. Well, I just believe it's the stupidest shit on the face of this fucking earth. You giving Ben Simmons a max contract before you give it to Embiid? You serious? What? And this bitch can't shoot? Bruh. I'm not saying that the 76ers is going to win the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying for right now, the 76ers are the better team. When you look at Ben Simmons, you look at Tobias Harris, they got Josh Richardson in the trade for Jimmy Butler, Al Horford, Joel Embiid. When you look at this starting five, like, I get serious. I think Tobias Harris is a very underrated player. A lot of people don't see Tobias Harris what he is. I think Tobias Harris is a really good fucking player. A lot of people sleep on him. Josh Richardson has been a very consistent player since he came in the league. If you don't know him, watch him play in Miami. Shit, you can watch his summer league from his first year coming in the league, his rookie season, watch him in the summer league. His rookie year, him and Justice Winslow with Miami was two strong pieces to their playoff push. Like, Josh Richardson is he's a consistent shooter. He can defend. And that's one thing about the 76ers that is going to be so good, because 1 through 5 they can defend. To Tobias Harris, he's an okay defender, but team defense is something it's going to be very, very strong for them. And then you got guys like James Ennis coming off the bench. You know, like, they got a team that can defend. And one thing that's slept on in the league, if you can defend somebody real good, you have a chance. You watch what Toronto did against Golden State. If you can defend, you got a chance. You got a serious fucking chance if you can defend. So for the Eastern Conference, I got the 76ers at number 1. I got the Milwaukee Bucks at number 2. I got Boston Celtics at number 3. And the Brooklyn Nets at number 4. So we're going to flip over here. We're going to go to the Western Conference, where I know a lot of anticipation is. Same thing, man. Y'all let me know how y'all feel. If y'all think my list bullshit, let me know what the fuck y'all think the right one's supposed to be. I want to know. Y'all got to tell me shit. Give me that feedback. I appreciate the feedback y'all gave me for my day episode. I'm going to take this one here too. You feel me? Let me know what's up. So in the Western Conference, number 4, I got the Lakers. And I promise you, I did everything in my power to put them in this list. And I wanted to put them higher. But like I said, LeBron James hasn't showed me. He has to show me what he can do. I know Anthony Davis is going to do what he do, but Anthony Davis got to be healthy all year in order for them to get to the seed. Anthony Davis has to be healthy. LeBron has to be healthy. LeBron has to put up LeBron numbers. But when you look outside of LeBron and Anthony Davis, we got Kyle Kuzma. You don't know what Kyle Kuzma is going to be this year. You really don't. Boogie, you don't know what Boogie is going to be this year. He came back from his injury in the playoffs. He did good for some games. Some games he was Can he get an off season under his belt and come back and be the old Boogie? I don't know. I hope so. The Lakers gave him a 1-year contract, so hopefully. They got Rondo back. They got Caldwell Pope back. They got Quinn Cook from the Warriors. They was able to sign Danny Green after coming off a championship. They got they got Avery Bradley. They got an okay roster. They can defend the same way like 76ers can. They can defend, but they won't be as dominant defensively as the 76ers. But I think they can defend. But are they going to score? Because the only legitimate scores you have is LeBron and Anthony Davis. Quinn Cook is not going to play much. Avery Bradley, he was a consistent scorer when he was with Boston. It's like 3 fucking teams ago. Danny Green, they can hit the spot up 3, but that's not somebody you asking to give you 15 points a game. Their season relies on what Kyle Kuzma does. What Kyle Kuzma and DeMarcus Cousins are able to do this season is going to determine what happens with the Lakers. LeBron James is not at that age in his career now where he can legitimately carry a team on his back. His back old. His shoulders old. He can't carry a team on his back and on his shoulders no more. He just, like I said, he's not showing the shit to me. You feel me? I don't see it happening, so we gotta see. Right now, they got number 4, and that's pushing it. You feel me? Pushing it with them being number 4. And number 3, man, I got Portland. I think the way Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum plays together, man, the style of basketball them niggas play, bro. Like, they always needed just one more piece. That's how it always been. Ever since those two started, being the dynamic duo, they only needed one more fucking piece. And I think they got their piece in Hassan Whiteside. I think with Hassan Whiteside being there and them allowing them getting Nurkic back, they're getting Kent Bazemore from Atlanta. You keep Rodney Hood. Now they got more scoring. They got a lot of scoring. So the only problem is going to be on the defensive side of the ball. I think Nurkic and Hassan Whiteside to make sure that the paint stays, but they still have Aminu, so Aminu can guard the perimeter. But CJ and Damon's going to have to defend in the 4th quarter. I hope they can do it. I really do. But I just think that Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum can score with the best of them. They really can. They showed you in the playoffs last year. They showed you what they could do together. And then you add somebody like Hassan Whiteside, and especially if he's able to play his kind of game. Like I watched him play in the Drew League in the summer of the last year, and he can shoot the 3. You watch his own personal videos, he can shoot the 3. So, and they didn't allow him to do that in Miami. So if he can go shoot the 3 consistently and stretch the floor for CJ and Damian Lillard with the Portland Trail Blazers, I see them as the 3rd best team in the West, and they can move up on this list. They can. It's just up to Hassan Whiteside. And the same thing I said with the Lakers is the same thing I said with Portland. Hassan Whiteside, Kent Bazemore, and Rodney Hood is what is going to determine this team for being successful. I just think they have star power, and I think they can score. All of them can score together, but it's just up to what they can do once the playoffs come. But right now, I don't see too much teams in the Western Conference that's better than Portland, paper-wise. Number 2, I'm going with the Utah Jazz, bro. And, I don't think a lot of people is giving the Utah Jazz the credit they really deserve. Donovan Mitchell, out of his rookie class, Ben Simmons, Jason Tatum, De'Aaron Fox, bro, I'm putting Donovan Mitchell as the best player in that class. Like, if you've seen what Donovan Mitchell did his rookie year and you see what he did again last year, Donovan Mitchell is one of the best young players in this league right now. And you allow him to not have to hold the ball in his hands as much as he needs to. You get rid of Ricky Rubio, you bring somebody in like Mike Conley. Like, Mike Conley is a good fucking player, bro. He can do so much things with your offense that Ricky Rubio couldn't do. Mike Conley is a legitimate three-point shooter. He can attack the basket. He'll get you some shots in the mid-range. He can defend. Mike Conley is a big upgrade at the point guard position. A big upgrade at the point guard position. And then you get Bogdanovich, who played for, if you watch what he did with Indiana last year, I may be saying his name wrong, but y'all hear the name, y'all know who the fuck I'm talking about. I think it's Bogdanovich or some shit like that, whatever the fuck is. He ain't got no American fucking name, so shit, I don't know, nigga. But if you watch what he did with Indiana last year after Victor Oladipo went out, he was their number one scorer. He's not that athletic. He's not your prototypical NBA player, but he plays a small forward as tough as anybody you see, and he hits shots that he needs to hit. He hits the three. He's one of the best three-point shooters in the league. He can attack the basket. He's giving you mid-range shots. He's giving you clutch shots. If you watch what he did by himself against the Boston Celtics in the playoffs last year, you'll see what I'm talking about. He's a baller, man. If you give him the chance to get on a team where he doesn't have to be the number one, he doesn't have to be the number two. He can actually sit there and be the number three and have the offense come around him. I think we're going to see the Utah Jazz in the Western Conference Finals. If not the Western Conference Finals, you'll see him in a round before playing against either this number one team or against the Lakers. And I don't give a fuck if y'all niggas say I'm biased. I ain't care about none of that shit. I just personally feel, and I'm going to explain why to you right now, that the Los Angeles Clippers is not only the best team in the Western Conference, the Los Angeles Clippers is the best team in the fucking league. When you look at defensively, when you look at what they can put out on the court, like, if you want whatever type of offense you want, whatever type of defense you want, with the Clippers and how deep their team is, you can put so much different looks on the court. You want scoring. First, we can start off with the starting five. The starting five, 9 times out of 10, is going to be Patrick Beverley, Paul George, Kawhi, Mo Harkless, and Zubac. That's going to be your starting five. And then if you are willing to make Kawhi or Paul George play the 4, then you're going to do it Paul George, Shamet. Not Paul George, I'm sorry. Patrick Beverley, Shamet, Paul George, Kawhi, and Zubac, if that's how you want to play. But if you need scoring, you got Lou Williams at the point, you got Shamet at the 2, you got Paul George at the 3, Kawhi at the 4, and you got Harrell at the 5. If you need to defend, you go back to Patrick Beverley at the 1. You can bring in Paul George. You got Mo Harkless. You got Harrell. Like, you have so much different pieces around you that you can go to. And, like, you have a team where you don't have any egos. You don't have any egos. Everybody wants to be there. Everybody wants to win. If you saw the Clippers team that went out against the Warriors last year, and you see how, I won't say how dominant they were, but they weren't afraid to play the Warriors. You couldn't tell me as a Clippers fan that when I watched those games, not one game did I look at those games and was like, damn, like, I don't think we can win this game. Like, me in my mind, I knew, like, bro, like, we're not going to win this fucking series. I know that because I'm a Clippers fan. And at the end of the day, I'm still a basketball fan. I know with Kevin Durant, Klay, and Curry, we weren't going to beat them. But they shocked me because they fought every game. We scored, we defended, we did what we needed to do to beat them. But we just didn't have that star player that we needed that could close games out. And now we do. We have two. Paul George, like I said earlier when I was talking about the duels, I think Paul George and Kawhi, they just mash together so good. And when you put players on the court with them like Patrick Beverley, Lou Williams, Montrezl Harrell, Mo Harkless, when you put guys on the court with them who can defend and who are as tough as they are, like, I just don't see like a lot of teams beating them, especially once the playoffs come and it's a 7-game series. I don't see this shit happening. I really don't. And if y'all can figure out somebody else who can, let me know. Because I don't feel, when you look at these top 4 teams in the Western Conference, who I have, I got the Clippers, I got the Jazz, I got Portland, and I got the Lakers. The Lakers, who can close the game out for you? LeBron? Portland, besides Damian Lillard, and you have Damian Lillard, he can close the game out. But besides him, okay, I'll give it to CJ. Okay, so they same thing with CJ and Dame, and you got with the Clippers with Paul George and Kawhi. You got 2 guys who can close the game out. Utah doesn't have that. The Lakers doesn't have that. But I just think that the way that Paul George and Kawhi plays defensively on both sides of the ball, defensively and also offensively, these niggas gonna be special. And I don't think special just this year. I think special for years to come. Kawhi only signed a 3-year deal to match what Paul George has. But I just think after these 2 years and he have the player option, they're going to decline the option like a lot of these other players do. And he's going to sign a Supermax deal with the Clippers. He's going to stay. I don't give... Bro, listen, it's all a mind game to be like, the league doesn't understand how much these players have their career in their hands now. And, like, they know how the money shit situation. We don't really know it unless we go up and, like, research the shit, you know? But, like, we don't know how the money situation go. They do. And they know how the salary cap changes every year. And both of them will be, 10 years in the league. Hey, you pay Paul George, and I'll stay. And now I just think that's just how it's going to be. And every year we're going to be able to add more and more pieces to those 2 to keep a contended team every year constantly. So to go back through in the West, I got the Clippers number 1, Utah number 2, Portland number 3, and the Lakers number 4. And in the East, I got the 76ers, the Milwaukee Bucks, the Celtics, and the Brooklyn Nets. So we got the 76ers and the Clippers at number 1. And so, and those 2 have to play in the finals. Of course, I got Los Angeles Clippers and 4. Sweet. So that's just how it is, man. I appreciate everybody for listening, watching. I really appreciate that shit. Monday, y'all boy get at me because Monday is going to be real special. I got one of the football players from Baptist Hill High School. I'm going to be doing a story on him next week. If it's not going to be on Monday, it's going to be throughout the week. I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff with this dude. I've been watching him for a while. I watched him when Baptist Hill went to the state championship, and I personally felt this nigga got on the field a whole lot more on that run, I think they would have been different. I'm not gonna call his name. I'm gonna wait for the show to come out for y'all to see him. But like, I fuck with his game. He's a running back. He plays running back and he plays wide receiver. And I think like when I saw him play, he was one of the best slot receivers that Baptist Hill had, and especially when he was coming running out the back of the field, catching balls out the back. I think he's gonna be real special once Baptist Hill football season starts this year, because he's one of their top talents. Like now he has the opportunity, you know, to put his name in the basket, because when it comes down to Baptist Hill athletes, it's a very, very long list of outstanding athletes just came through Baptist Hill, and I think he's gonna be one of them. So y'all tune in next week. I appreciate y'all boy being here for the full week of Country Sports, man. I appreciate that shit. Y'all boy like, comment, hit that motherfucking subscribe button, man. Hey, man, we out here, man. This Country Sports. It's your boy, Mr. Right, the motherfucking lover boy, man. And I'll see y'all niggas Monday, man. We out here.